Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Joffrey Noodle Legs here today with another little noodle film review. Today we're looking at one of the films that I bought a few days ago from CEX for a couple of pound, and it's a film that I've seen years ago and I really enjoyed it. So when I saw it again I thought I'd pick it up, and this is the film Splinter. Now this little edition is made by Icon. It's a normal Blu-ray standard edition, so it's fine. Little synopsis on the film: it's a kind of monster sort of survival horror sort of film. The film sort of starts off with you see like a young guy working in a garage. So there we are, we see this guy, he's at his garage and he sort of lives and works there. He goes and sits on his sort of like deck chair outside his garage, and he sort of hears a noise sort of rustling in the grass. And then he sort of goes to investigate it, and he succumbs to like being killed by this sort of creature thing, which you don't really see because it's sort of like the pictures are sort of broken up, or it's too close into the actual scene to see what's actually going on. But he gets killed, and then we cut to sort of like see one of the main sort of like couples of the film who are going out camping.
So we're here, come on. Can you help me with this?
So this couple here, they're trying to go out camping in this sort of area, but they pass a road sign on the way saying sort of like experimentation area. So that's sort of like giving a little clue what's sort of going on. Anyway, they try to put their tent up, which is a disaster. They just can't do it. And the lad, he's like a doctor, I believe. He's like not a doctor as in like a doctor, but a doctor studying like sort of like physics and things like that, biology. So he's really not up for the camping, and the tent splits, and they can't put the tent up properly. So they decide, well, let's go and find a motel sort of thing. So they sort of drive off again. Then we get introduced to our second couple, which appears to be like a guy on the run from prison, and his sort of girlfriend, who seems to be I think she's got some sort of drug habit. So anyway, we get introduced to those two.
Steve, that's all our stuff.
We're getting all new stuff, baby. All new stuff. Hey, who's your cowgirl, huh?
Fucking hate it when you call me that.
Well, yeah, that's our second sort of main couple of the film, and they get rid of their truck somehow. I think they've obviously stole it or whatever they've done, or it's broken down, and they start planning to sort of like trick anyone going by. And of course, our couple come by in their Range Rover on search for a motel. So this is when the two couples sort of meet up.
It's okay.
Maybe he's with her.
No, thank you.
Oh my God, Seth.
You fucking deaf?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Baby!
Out.
Baby, no!
We're good, baby. We're good. Turn it off. Get out of the car. Nice and easy. All right? Get out of the car. Just get out of the fucking car now.
Okay, okay.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Clear the back seat real quick. Make room for two more.
Wait, no, D, you can't change the plan. You said no
I
hostage.
know what I said, baby. I know what I said, okay? All right?
So these two couples are on now like sort of road trip together. Obviously, these two are kind of like hostages now, if you like, because they're held there under gunpoint. Anyway, there's a lot of conversation between the guy who's the doctor, the one with the glasses, and the female of the the convict, and she's trying to ask him if he can prescribe prescriptions and stuff like that for obviously drugs and things, but he says no, I'm not that sort of doctor. And then they knock over this sort of creature in the car, and I think it's one of the sort of creatures like that's attacked the guy at the garage.
Hey, let's go.
So obviously this sort of creature thing has these sort of spikes coming out of it, like these sort of they almost look like kind of like sort of porcupine spikes, don't they? But they sort of grow out of it. Anyway, the doctor and the girl with the drug problem go and investigate what it is that they've knocked over, and she starts acting all crazy, thinking it's a baby or puppy or whatever. Anyway, and she wants the doctor to make him well, and you can see it's just like a splat in the road. And meanwhile, the other two, the convict and the girl of the doctor, they're changing the tyre, and the guy, the convict, gets like a splinter in his finger. So he gets this splinter in his finger, so which becomes a bit important a bit further down in the story. So try and remember that when it happens. Obviously, I'm not going to tell too much. And then we cut back to the doctor and the other girl who are by this sort of like the roadkill.
Holy motherfucker!
Something on the ground.
I say!
What happened?
Talk to me, Lacey!
Yeah, so that's quite strange. The roadkill, although it's dead, is still sort of alive. And that's another thing to remember about this story. When you think you've killed something in here, you haven't, because it's sort of like it's got this sort of way of continuing to live and sort of like growing these sort of spikes out of it. So they get back in the car, all of them, and sort of get away from what's going on. And then they end up going to the garage where the guy was killed. So they're at this garage, and the girl with the drug problems, trying to get into sort of like the bathroom around the back, and the others go into the main sort of garage shop to get some bits, and then they realise that there's actually no one there. And the girl eventually gets into the toilet, and she finds the guy that works there's body, and he still comes back to life and starts sort of going after her. And she sort of runs back to the garage to tell all the others what's happening. And then she gets attacked and sort of killed herself. So here's a little clip of that. I'll just let you know now, it can be a little bit disturbing.
In the bathroom, there's a man! See, look at that!
Let's get back! Let's
So she gets killed by the guy that owns the garage, and you can see he's it's not zombie like, he's just turned into this like this monster thing with all these sort of spikes coming out of him. And she gets killed, Anyway, so they all three of them stay inside the garage, and her boyfriend, the convict, has a look on the sort of CCTV thing and sees that she's still alive.
What are you doing? Hey, stop it.
She's alive.
Are you nuts? You can't open that door, okay?
She's alive. Look. I think we'd rather.
So she's still alive. Well, she's not really. She's now turning into a monster herself, and in the film turns into a survival horror with these three stuck inside that garage with these creatures outside, and that's all I'm going to tell you. Now, are they going to get away? Are they going to get rescued? Is someone going to come and help them? Um, what's going on? What is this thing? It appears to be like a sort of like a bacteria sort of thing that sort of grows and kills things and stuff like that. And it's like these spikes, and sometimes it even fires these spikes off, like a tarantula with its urticating hairs. So it can do stuff like that. So do they survive? Do any of those three get killed? What's going to happen with the convict that's got the splinter in his finger? You need to watch this to find out what happens. So what do I think of the film? I thought it was a good film. It's a really great popcorn horror survival monster flick. It's really cool watch. When I watched it, I remembered how much I really liked it. Didn't really like the characters very much. I don't like any of them, to be honest. Just when you connect with some characters and you think, yeah, I didn't really connect with any of these, so I didn't really have any sort of like, oh, I hope they survive. So, but that's fine. But yeah, it's a great little movie. The picture quality is still really good. Still holds up today. Really cool sort of movie. This came out at the same time when a lot of sort of horror movies came out that are quite gory, things like Wrong Turn and stuff like that. So it's that sort of era of film. Really good sort of monster flick though. The creature is quite cool. So the pluses of it is the transfer's good. The story's quite cool. The acting is cool. It's mediocre. It's no sort of like bad acting. There's no sort of good acting. It's just suitable for the story. Um, but it's quite cool, and the creature's quite really cool as well. Although you don't get to see a lot of it, the concept of it just seems really cool. The minuses are the creatures. Wish you could see more of it. You just see glimpses of it. Um, Also, another minus is when the attacks and the kills happen, the camera is so close that it's all like this, so it's difficult to work out what's going on. And you just think, well, what's happening? You can't really see that. And that's sort of like a little bit of a negative. I'd rather it actually pulled back and you could see what was actually happening. Um, Probably because it's a cheaper way of doing the effects without having to put loads of like really special effects on. If it's up like this, you're not going to work out what's actually happening, are you? So I suppose that's a cheaper way of doing some sort of effects and just showing you little bits of the aftermath. But there is some really cool bits in it, like with the girl that's sort of killed there. She gets to a stage where she keeps bashing her head against the door of the garage shop, and that's really really cool. It's quite horrible. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna score this now. I'm gonna score this a great watch and give it a 7 out of 10. I think if you could see more of the actual kills and a bit more of the gore, it probably would go up to an 8 or something. But I'm giving it a 7 because it's still a great movie. It's a great sort of popcorn movie night for you if you're gonna just sit down and have a bit of senseless, mindless fun. It's like that really. It's a monster survival horror, when these three guys trying to survive this creature outside. I suppose a little bit along the lines of The Mist, where they're all stuck in a supermarket trying to survive this creature's outside. So I suppose that's the same sort of premise as that. So I'm giving that a 7 out of 10, and that's my little review of Splinter. Have any of you seen it? Let me know down below what you think of it. Did you enjoy it? I thought it was good fun, and that's all it is. It doesn't claim to be anything else. Again, if you go into any horror film, guys, I say this every single video. If you go into any horror film with expectations, you're going to be majorly disappointed. Horror is one of the genres that you can't have expectations to having seen. Oh, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be great, because you'll be so disappointed when you turn out. Actually, that wasn't. If you go in with no expectations, you come out thinking that was great. So that's the best way to approach a horror film, and that is one of those sort of films. Go and check out some horror channels for me, guys. If you can, please check out Horror Hands, check out The Horror Geek, check out I Am Ice Lord, Pizzawell, check out Sarah of Horror, Horror and Todge, Man v Film, RS Designs. All amazing channels, guys. Please check them all out for me. Until next time, in the next review, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I see you all soon.